Okay, so today we're going to cook something a little bit different on the barbecue today. We're actually going to cook some corned beef. This isn't the normal corned beef that most English people think of, you know, the stuff out of a can. American corned beef is actually cured brisket or other parts from that end that have been cured in salt and other preservatives, and you notice this has quite a pinky, quite a bright colour to it. So this one I've actually picked up. I've actually been wanting to try these for a long time. This is from Tom Hickson's, and they have a salt beef brisket, which has been cured with seaweed and demerara sugar and bits of honey powder and some other preservatives. So quite excited about this, as corned beef and things like hot pastrami are probably some of my favourite things to eat when I'm in the US, whether it be as sandwiches or as part of a meal. So and it's just very different to the standard corned beef that we get over here. So I'm just going to take the corned beef out of the packaging to begin with. Just see here, just want to try and leave as much of the excess brine that's in the bag in the packet. Okay. So you'll notice here that I've got about a 3 kilo piece of corned beef here. This is actually from the point end, which I'm kind of happy about, because it's obviously the more fatty, more marbled piece of the brisket. All I'm going to do now, we're looking at my corned beef. I'm just trying to see where the fat cap side is, which is this side, where the point end is, and then this is like the flatter side. So I just want to clear up the excess fat and this silver skin that's on top of it at the moment, because I'm going to put a bit of a dry rub on it before we put it on the smoker. So I'm just going to very quickly take all of this off. Okay, and as you see, just expose the meat more. I mean, basically the idea behind this is that the hard fat like this isn't really going to render out as we cook it, and it's just going to stop any of the seasoning and also the smoke that we're going to add to this corned beef actually going into the meat. So I just want to take this off. Let's do this very quickly. There we go. So just finishing up now. Just going to take these bits off on the edges of it as well, because these will be a bit tough and veiny-ish. So there we go. I'm probably going to just take a bit of this cap off here. I'm not going to separate out between the point and the flat like I normally would if I was cooking like a brisket for competitions, but again, I just wanted to take off some of this heavy fat that's there. And there we go. I mean, that's pretty much it. Nice and simple, nice and easily done. Now I'm just going to add a quick bit of seasoning to it. You could just do like a standard salt and pepper mix onto it. What I'm actually going to use is a bit of Big Papa Smokers Double Secret steak rub. It's got a lot of salt, pepper, garlic, a few other bits in there, and I'm going to give it quite a reasonable coating over the top, just like that. There we go. And I'm just going to give it a quick pat down. See how that's sticking to the meat. Okay, I'll leave that for a little while as well because yeah, we want to bond in much better and start sweating in with the beef. So as we leave this to sort of do its thing, let the flavours bind together a bit more, we're going to go and light the smoker that we're going to use for this corned beef, and we'll be back in a bit to talk about how we're going to cook it, what's going to happen, and keep going on. Yep. Okay, so now the rub's had a bit of a chance to settle in, and we've got the Yoder running at about 270 Fahrenheit. We're going to put this on the smoker for probably about 3 hours. The idea is that we just want to get a bit of smoke on it first. Yeah, we want to get a bit of smoke flavour on this. Then after about 2.5 or 3 hours, we'll check it again. Probably look at wrapping it up and braising it a bit longer to get it more tender, and then we'll start thinking about veggies to go along with it. Okay, so we're probably now about 3.5 hours in. I can see that my corned beef has now taken on a nice colour. You know, the bark's sort of formed on it a bit. You know, it will have taken on smoke during this time. So now what I want to do is actually I want to transfer this into a pan, and we're then going to add a load of water into this to begin with. We're then going to cover it in foil, and then we're going to put it back on the smoker. We're going to ramp the temperature up now. I just want to load this up, probably up about like that. Okay, so you can see, so it's just got a nice covering, just going over the, you know, just reaching up level to the thickness of the meat. Like I said, I'm going to wrap this, cover this with a sheet of foil over the top. And the idea of this is obviously this is now going to braise in this water. You'll probably have noticed that from the earlier part of the video that I haven't soaked the corned beef at all to try and get any of the saltiness out. In a sense, this is what will happen now, is it will release some of that saltiness into the water whilst also tenderising and cooking a bit quicker. So I just want to make sure I've got that all covered up. So we're going to take this back out to the smoker now. We're going to put the temperature up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're probably going to leave it for another hour. Then when it hits an hour, we're then going to add loads of vegetables. So we're going to add our cabbage, carrots and potatoes around or underneath the brisket. Foil it back up, and then probably cook it for another hour, hour and a half till, yeah, we're looking at a target temperature around, you know, 200, 205 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll go by feel, but yeah, I'm going to get this back on the smoker and we'll speak to you in a bit. Okay, so we've been cooking the brisket or the corned beef in the smoker now, covered in foil, for a couple of hours with a bit of water. You can see now in here I've got a nice bit of juice that's come out. Obviously some of the saltiness will have come out from the brine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm now going to add my vegetables into this mixture, so they'll pick up some of that flavour. They'll also give a bit of flavour of their own. Okay, I'm going to start layering in, you know, a few bits of celery to begin with. Okay, I'm then going to add some little baby carrots scattered around. Okay. And now I have enough space, I'm just going to lift this out quickly. Put that on the board. I'm going to take my cabbage and I'm going to lay a bed of that down so I can lay the corned beef back onto. Whilst also fill the rest of the tray. This is just one head of white cabbage. I'm then going to throw some potatoes in as well. There we go. I'm going to put my corned beef back on the top, and then I'm just going to recover this back up with the tin foil that I used earlier, and then I'm going to put it back on the smoker, probably for another hour and a half, just till really get the veg cooked and finish off the final cooking of the corned beef. Okay, so got that all wrapped up nicely. I'm just going to go and put this on the smoker, and then we'll come back shortly and we'll finish this off. Okay, so finally the vegetables have now cooked in the smoker. Yeah, it's all finished now. We've let it rest for probably about 20 minutes. Just obviously let the beef do its thing. And you can see that we've now got this whole tray mixed of beef and vegetables that have been cooked in the juices that it was that it was all done in. I've got the carrots are nicely done. Same with the potatoes. So what I'm going to do now, because obviously I've rested it as well, is I'm going to take this out. Okay, and I'm going to start carving the beef so we can have a look at that. If I can just move this. There we go, so I'll move that up, and then I'm just going to have a look at how it is. Okay. There we go, and we can see this is, again, where it's all cured lovely. It's got that right tenderness. Wow. Yeah, it's good. So you can see we've still got juices running through the grains of the meat. I'm just going to slice this all up. Now what we're going to do now is we're also going to get like a nice little serving plate and a slotted spoon, so we can drain the veggies out, lay them down on the table, so we can lay like a nice bed of them to lay it all down on. I'm just going to keep slicing this all the way down. Go. So nice. That's there. So let's slice some of this up so it's more in usual chunks. I tell you what, if you could smell this, you'd be as excited as I am about this. So I've got a few bits there. So I'm just going to take my plate here. Okay, and I'm going to take. We'll scoop out the bits of the cabbage and the potatoes. Make a nice hearty plate. Put some carrots in there, and then replace it like that. So. There we go. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to tuck into this, but this is our barbecue style corned beef with cabbage and mixed vegetables. Hope you enjoy it.